tragedy has struck again for a certain airline company.
Oh, no.
Or should I say maker of airlines or airplanes.
This does not sound good.
I'm guessing we both know who we're talking about. And if you don't know, we're talking about Boeing. So Boeing and its contractor are locked in more mysterious deaths.
So you're saying that the conspiracies are true?
I mean, there is a pattern that is showing now because sadly, a former employee of a subcontractor for Boeing, Spirit Aerosystems, was found dead. Well, not found dead. He went to the hospital and later died of his illness.
Oh, no, that does not sound good.
This has been the second whistleblower in 2 months that has come forward, or well, they've been forward, but now like they seem to be dying left and right, sadly.
Yeah, that's not good. And it's really not a good look for
Boeing,
for
anyone.
Yeah, for literally anyone wanting to come out as a whistleblower.
As a whistleblower, it is not a good light because, like the previous story, the person, good health, and then all of a sudden, 2 weeks ago, was experiencing trouble breathing, and then you went to the hospital and was basically labeled in critical, very, very critical condition and tested positive for influenza B, MRSA, MRSA, and a difficult in bacterial infection, and also developed pneumonia.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous how all this. I mean, like you could develop this like normally, but like, I mean, the circumstances are kind of like leading us to question like okay, well, he seemed fine, then all of a sudden like all this stuff starts happening right around
when you're trying to testify for something regarding Boeing.
Yeah, he was actually on a lawsuit trying to a separate thing that we will go further into once you consider hitting that subscribe button, hitting that like button. We come out with interesting videos like this one daily, so if you want to stay up to date with interesting topics like this one, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So the guy's name is Dean. So Dean was 45 and lived in Wichita, Kansas. And he worked originally at Spirit Aerosystems since 2019, but he was laid off during the pandemic, but returned in 2021. Can you guess what plane he worked on?
Was it the Boeing Dreamliner?
No.
737 MAX?
Yes.
Okay. There's only the two planes that I'm hearing a lot about is just those two.
Those two, yeah. It's it's a bit of a pattern. So Dean raised concerns because in 2021 he raised concerns about improperly drilled bulkheads on some of the 737 MAX planes, which the plant in Wichita was constructing in October of 2022. So the lawsuit that is accusing Spirit of concealing its production issues. So, if you're hearing this, you're like, okay, maybe this is really bad. Like, what maybe they should really look into this, and do something.
That's what I would think about. I literally would think about they should
stop. They should, stop.
It looks like there's a little bit of foul play, to be honest. This is what it sounds like. And if it what is it? If it doesn't sound like it, then I don't know what else it could be.
Another wild fact is that the lawyer who is representing the first person, the one who supposedly unalived himself, self-inflicted gunshot wound
in the hotel parking lot,
was represented by the same lawyer who is representing this guy in the case.
So people are looking at the lawyer.
I don't think so, but the lawyer had something to say. I mean, what is he going to do?
That's the first person that I would look at.
The lawyer?
The lawyer, if he's representing both.
But I mean, like, he's trying to protect them, and I don't think he's their lawyer.
Okay.
But anyways, so when asked about these two seemingly, conspiracy theory like type events that happened, he said that he didn't want to speculate and would like to see the evidence from the investigating authorities, but also added that society does not need people in fear to speak up. So a lot of times now it's like, people are probably not too thrilled to like step forward because of all these weird circumstances happening around it.
Yeah, I wouldn't like. I know it's the right thing to do, but it's unfortunate that like this is the second incident that this has happened to, and
like weird events happening around like whistleblowers.
Yeah, especially regarding Boeing. So,
or even like people that are adjacent, like so they're working on Boeing products, but they're not even working directly for Boeing.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just sounds it's hard. I think it's hard because it's like as a whistleblower, you're trying to do the right thing and trying to
because you're trying to like because he reached out to the FAA and trying to like flag this issue, and then later on, the his testimony and stuff was like flagged by the shareholders of Spirit Aerosystems because he was talking about these issues for the 737.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, well, Spirit Aerosystems seems a bit weird, like all this other stuff, the quality issues. And it goes even further because more things have come out to where now Spirit Aerosystems is suing to block Texas safety probe of the company. So the Texas, I think, Attorney General is now calling for a review of the internal documents and other information involving the safety and like inspections of Boeing aircraft from Spirit Aerosystems, but they are countering this by or blocking it by suing them.
Yeah, I don't know. It sounds
fishy.
Yeah, it sounds a little fishy. Like it doesn't sound like this is like you're suing if
there's nothing to hide.
If there's nothing to hide, you should not be doing this. But it seems like there's something to hide. But I think they're probably gonna say something differently.
I think their whole issue is that they're saying Spirit Aero is saying that they don't manufacture any part in Kansas, Texas, or elsewhere, and so since they're not manufacturing in Texas, they're saying that this shouldn't be allowed for them to ask for these documents because they don't manufacture there.
Yeah.
But they do have a presence in Texas. So
yeah, I guess that makes sense. It makes sense to some degree.
Yeah, it's like, we don't manufacture there. But, I mean, it does question whether, like, what are they originally going in after? It's like, okay, like they're trying to investigate the quality issues and other things, so it's like maybe it kind of makes sense. So this is a very very deep topic.
It is,
because now Spirit Aero is also in the same time, in the same breath, between days. So like the first thing, this one came out May 2nd, right? The Boeing supplier or the Boeing supplier Spirit Air is blocking Texas safety probe.
Yeah. And
then the day prior, Spirit Air was saying that they have new plans to address 737 MAX parts demand. There's so many parts that are being demanded that they're trying to make more of them. I'm like, oh, geez. I don't know.
This all sounds very fishy, and it does not sound good for the people who are coming out and trying to speak about this.
Who are trying to speak about it, or who are trying to, travel anywhere.
Yeah.
And I mean, does this bring any like confidence in this? I mean, I don't know. People, more eyes are being put on this. Like the whole, like when I see the Texas lawsuit or like the Texas inquiry into like the things, like people are like trying to get to the bottom of this. They're trying to look and see like what is going on there. Like, what are these whistleblowers talking about?
Yeah. What are these whistleblowers talking about? We obviously know they're talking about quality issues, but at the same time, it's like I want to hear them speak. I want to hear them what they want to say, and I want to see what happens with Boeing. You know what? I went on a flight recently. People were joking that saying, by the way, not on a Boeing, on an Airbus.
Oh, really?
On an Airbus. Sure? Yes.
Oh,
make
God.
sure both ways. But people were joking around saying it's like, because they were near the emergency exit, they're like, oh, the doors.
They're like checking in. They're like knocking the door, like, oh, let's secure.
No, they said if the door, it's like, oh, we're next to the door. It's like if the door pops off, we're the first ones to go. And I was like, oh my God.
Stop, drop, and roll. So the last thing I'll leave you off with is that Dean told the person who recently passed away, told Wall Street Journal in January that it is known at Spirit that if you make too much noise and cause too much trouble, you will be moved. It doesn't mean you completely disregard stuff, but they don't want you to find everything and write it up. So I'm like, I mean, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then in February, so that's like, okay, you hear that, and you're like, okay, like, okay, it makes sense. I mean, you don't want to see all the issues because you're gonna holding out the production, but I mean, these are issues, like these should be corrected. So in February, he said, I think they were sending out a message to anybody else. If you are too loud, we will silence you. And I'm like,
that's scary. That's so scary, actually.
Okay. That's very worrisome coming from you. In hindsight, it's very worrisome because you're like, okay, he's saying all this stuff.
Yeah.
So it is a very wild story, and as things progress, we will continue to, I mean, not every single little tidbit, but these are like
massive events
in terms of like whistleblowers and like trying to get, the truth found out. I was like, okay, I mean, if these planes are bad, these planes are bad. Like, what are you trying to hide? Like,
I feel at
bad. Some point, either the plane's going to fall out the sky or,
Yeah, I feel bad for the people that this is happening to because they're
trying to do the right thing.
They're trying to do the right thing, and like these things like keep on happening. So hopefully it's like the truth that does come out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the truth did come out.
It did come out, but they're not getting on the stand.
That's true. But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think this is a worrisome trend? Do you think that any other people will step forward now that this type of trend is happening? Or do you think that we've heard the last of the whistleblowers? Hopefully not, because, people need to speak out about things that are going wrong. And I mean, this is a perfect example.
Yeah, I agree.
So let us know your thoughts in the comments down below.